Hi guys. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to our live stream. This is my co-host Ollie. She's a little bit tired tonight, so we're going to give her a little bit of a break. But we wanted to say welcome everybody. It's a big day for Xiaomi today. We had our biggest launch in a very, very long time, possibly the biggest launch event in the history of the company. So that's why Ollie decided to come say hi. She's going to go for a little walk right now. And we're going to get started. Bye, Ollie. It's pretty cold here today already, so summer is now behind us. All right, so I've got my Facebook dashboard here, so I'll be able to follow what people are asking, and I'll try to answer as many questions live as possible. We're here today to talk about the 3 products that we announced today. So this is the official live stream for the rest of the world of Xiaomi's October 2016 launch event. We're talking about Mi Note 2, we're talking about Mi VR, and we're talking about Mi Mix, our concept phone. So let's get started here. We're going to talk about Mi Note 2 first, and you'll be able to start peeking down here and see the product, but I'll give you a close-up look in just a little bit. So the story for Mi Note 2 starts with Mi Note. Mi Note is a product that we launched last year in January. Many of you are already familiar with it. Mi Note became very familiar for its 3D curved glass. It was the first device in the world to ship with a curved glass on the back of the device, which was a pretty important change from the typical 2.5D glass technology that was more common at the time. It was heavily lauded by people around the world. Our friend Walt Mossberg called it a drop-dead gorgeous phone, and it really was. And Mi Note 2 is here to upgrade the Mi Note experience, take it to a new level by adding curves to the front side as well. That's why we talk about Mi Note 2 curved to impress. That's the product slogan. So Mi Note 2 has dual-sided curves. It's got a curved glass 3D on the back, curved glass 3D on the front as well, thanks to a special kind of display technology, which we're going to talk about today. So here's what it looks like on the front. You can see this nicely curved surface. This is a design pattern that's obviously not new to the industry. We were the first ones with a curved back design. We're not the first ones with a front curved design, but we certainly are embracing this new technology or design pattern from the industry. And this is what it looks like in the back. What's beautiful about it when you look at it on the side, because you have these 2 curved glasses that meet in the center, it's just an incredibly good hand feel. It feels great when you hold this device, and you'll see that in a second. We use 7 series aluminum for the metal frame, which basically connects the front and the back glass, as you can see here. So it's this beautiful, balanced aesthetic. It looks really fantastic. It's available in 2 colors, which I'll show you actually right now. The first one is piano black, which is this really sort of intense, beautiful black color. That's also very glossy. That's what I have here in my hands. You can see here in the back the beautiful glossy piano black, and it's just really it's beautiful. It has sort of this really significant statement, right? It's a full black device, especially if you have a darker theme. It gives you black on black, so it's a gorgeous device, and you can notice right away what the effect that the curve on the front and the back gives you. Especially in this black color with the aluminum here on the sides. It gives you just really great hand feel. Why? Because the device actually feels even thinner than it actually is, given that you have curves on both sides. So this is the piano black color that you see here. It's kind of a mirror-like finish, and it looks pretty fantastic. The second color is what we call glacier silver. Why glacier silver? Because it's what it looks like. I've never actually seen a glacier up front, but I've heard that this is close enough. This is definitely my favorite color. So it's this really, really interesting silver, almost blue sort of variant of gray. Also this sort of mirror-like finish. In the back, you can see here the detail, which I really like on the camera, which is also sort of surrounded by this silverish gray. And it looks really, really beautiful. That's That's what it looks like on the side. Obviously, the aluminum is more pronounced because we're actually have it in more natural metallic. On the bottom here, we have our fingerprint sensor. This is a mechanical fingerprint sensor with a ceramic cover. And I'll talk a little bit more about the screen in a bit. Great hand feel. So this is the Glacier Silver and the Piano Black for Mi Note 2. Let's keep going. This is what they look like together. You can appreciate how gorgeous this design is. Let's talk a bit about how to get to that front curve on the display. Of course, having a curve in the back just means you have to have curved glass. But when you do it in the front, of course, you have to do more than that. An LCD display cannot flex to fit to that curve. So LCD technology just isn't an option here. That's why we've actually gone with a flexible OLED display technology. OLED has many advantages. One of the most important advantages, and certainly the most important advantage for Mi Note 2, is the fact that it can actually curve behind the curved 3D glass for this perfect fit. And this animation that you're looking at right now is actually a real OLED display that's actually connected to the circuit board here. So it's displaying a real image, and you can see how it's actually flexible. It's pretty amazing. Try to do that with an LCD and it breaks. What else? 5.7-inch display. So it's a large screen. It doesn't actually feel as large as it actually is because of the curved display, right? So it goes all the way to the edge. What tends to determine how big a phone is, it's actually its width, of course, because that's how you hold the phone. So if we're bleeding the display almost all the way to the edge, you basically gain more room. So it's a 5.7-inch display, but it actually feels a bit more like a 5.5-inch when you hold it. So really great hand feel because of that flexible display. Speaking of hand feel, one of the most important things is screen-to-body ratio. So we do a quick comparison here. Mi Note 2 gives you over 77% screen-to-body ratio, which is a metric that most people are pretty familiar with right now, compared with, for example, the iPhone 7 Plus, which gives you just under 68%, which is already pretty good, but 77% is obviously much better. Quite a few other interesting things to say about the display. In addition to the screen-to-body ratio, really great color range. Typically we measure color range by talking about the NTSC color scale. This display technology OLED allows us to go beyond NTSC, so it's 110% NTSC color gamut, more colors, if you will, that can be represented. OLED is very, very well known for its contrast ratio, 100,000 to 1 contrast ratio. So you got just beautiful popping color and brightness on this display. Sunlight display and reading mode, these are staples features of all Mi phones, so that you get just great visibility when you're outside, and you can also get just a very comfortable reading mode when you're indoors and especially at night. Mi Note 2 ships, it's our second, in fact third device to ship with Snapdragon 821, which is the latest flagship out there. I guess it became pretty famous as of the last couple of weeks, since it's the processor that ships on the awesome Google Pixel. What's worth mentioning here is that we're using the performance version of Snapdragon 821, which is clocked at 2.35 gigahertz. That's the same clock speed that we're using on Mi 5S Plus versus the standard clock speed for Snapdragon 821, which you'll see out there in a few devices, including the Google Pixel, right? So performance versus standard version for Snapdragon 821. We're shipping a couple of variants for Mi Note 2. The one that I prefer, my favorite, is the one that ships with 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of NFS 2.0 flash, right? So it gives you tons and tons of room for all of your content. I was wondering what that face was. Like, what is Danny doing? He was getting excited. All right. Okay, so very important. This is something that all of our Mi fans are already familiar with. Battery size, right? We are pretty serious about giving you battery life beyond even 24 hours. So with Mi Note 2, we're taking that to a new level with a battery that's over 4,000 milliamp hours, and it supports Quick Charge 3.0, which is the fastest charging standard in the industry. So this device gives you fantastic capability. All right. We support full NFC functionality with Mi Note 2. We do read, we do write, we do card emulation, as well as P2P. So you get all the functionality that you want. Of course, we're already deploying Mi Pay here in China. So this is another device in our portfolio that supports Mi Pay. I'll fly through some of these features just to keep it short. We have an audio processor that supports HD audio on Mi Note 2, and a special kind of GPS sensor here, which is obviously a high precision GPS as usual, but it has built-in sensor assisted positioning, which some people just call SAP, which helps your GPS get a much faster fix, and it helps it when it doesn't have a fix. So for example, if you're traveling, and you go through a tunnel, normally you would just lose signal when you're in the tunnel. Some apps like Google Maps are pretty smart. They kind of figure that out, but in general, you lose GPS. With sensor assisted positioning, even when you don't have a satellite fix, you still get a projected GPS that's provided by the hardware, almost as if you continue to have satellite coverage. So it's pretty seamless for the apps that are using that information. Just to quickly sum up here the features of Mi Note 2. Obviously, the two-sided dual curves is the most important thing. Snapdragon 821, clocked at 2.35 gigahertz, 6 plus 128 for memory. Large battery, over 4,000 milliamp hours, with quick charge 3.0, HD audio, GPS with sensor-assisted positioning, and full NFC. So let me just take a pause here to say hi to everyone who just joined us. If you guys are here watching us on Facebook, please share on your feed so that more folks can join us. And also, please feel free to send me your comments and your questions. Sadiq is just asking me, how about the camera? I'll get to that in a second. I'll get to that in just a little bit. In fact, I'll do it right now. Ha! Nice, man. Okay. So Mi Note 2 ships with a pretty awesome sensor. So it's a, we're like precision here. So it's a 22.56 megapixel. How about that, Danny? 22.56 megapixels.
Awesome!
It's a Sony IMX318, which is one of the latest Sony sensors out there. So it is super high resolution, f2.0 aperture. And obviously with that kind of resolution, you get really, really great photography. In fact, you can go in 4 times. You can zoom in 4 times and you still get the same resolution that you would get with a normal, sort of traditional 13-ish megapixel camera. So it's great for photos. And on top of that, we're shipping for the first time on one of our devices, electronic image stabilization, which is a slightly different kind of technology from what we've used in other products. We've used OIS before. This is EIS, and it's particularly great for video stabilization, particularly 4K video. Just to explain how this works, it has a dedicated gyroscope, a gyroscope that's just for the camera module. So it can really detect jitter instantly and compensate that in real time, right? So this is done electronically. There's no moving parts here per se. And this is what it looks like sort of with and without stabilization. You can see, obviously, it makes a pretty big difference even if you're just walking around. So that's EIS. Love the camera on Mi Note 2. We have quite a few photos. It's a bit hard to see them here because you're dealing with maybe 720p or at best 1080p. But when you look at the photos that we're going to post, I'll have a few of them shared later on my own Facebook page, and you'll be able to see how beautiful these photos are. They look really, really great. And we always share them with original EXIF information, so you can look at it for yourself. Selfies is another pretty awesome thing about Mi Note 2. There's some new stuff in here. So obviously over there is our front-facing camera, right here. So this is an 8 megapixel shooter, but here's the cool thing. This is the first time we had an autofocus camera on the front. I think Louis likes that one. So autofocus camera on the front. Now, why would you need autofocus on the front? Well, not every selfie, not every photo you take with a front camera is at the same focus plane. So also, usually what you'll get is something that works for most selfie cameras. It works just great at a certain distance, a little bit less or a little bit more, and you're going to get blurriness. You're going to get some blur. So we're just using autofocus so that regardless of how far you are from the sensor, you may have a big group selfie, you may have a close-up selfie, you're still going to get great focus on the key subject, right? So that's 8 megapixel autofocus camera on the front side of Mi Note 2, which is right here. So this gives you great focus. We're also upgrading Beautify with 3.0. So Beautify 3.0 gives you more features. For example, it makes your lips look better. This is particularly great for girls, of course, since you'll just get a pinker, more beautiful lips, even if you're not wearing makeup. Another great feature for group selfies that we have on Mi Note 2, basically without you even knowing, when you take this selfie, the phone will capture a few different snaps almost instantly. And with just basic face recognition technology, it'll figure out which face to get from where. It's very common for people to blink. Obviously, synchronized blinking isn't really a thing. So you got to get one image from, you like that? One image from each of these, and you combine them into a sort of quote-unquote perfect shot. So that's pretty cool. So lots of other details here if you guys want to check it out about the two cameras on Mi Note 2. This is a big one. This is a big one. I'm going to take a pause here, and I just wanted to say hello to everyone who just joined us here on Facebook. We are streaming live, and we have quite a few people join us already. Tons of questions coming in. Alan, Mix is coming up. Give us a little bit more time. And if you have any questions, by all means, just fire them away, and I'll try to catch them as we go here. I'm going to talk about my favorite feature on Mi Note 2. I've been working here at Xiaomi for 3 years. It's been a great ride. And of course, I travel a lot. I am sometimes in the United States, sometimes I'm in other parts of Asia. I'm in India a lot of India Mi fans here. I travel to Europe, go home to Brazil pretty often. And what I often have to deal with is I arrive in a new country and bam, I'm on edge on my Mi phone, whatever that phone is. So we are really, really growing our efforts around RF, antenna design, modem technology, so that we can actually support every band in the world. So Mi Note 2, very proudly, is the first Mi phone that ships with global LTE support. In fact, we ship with 37 bands, includes 22 LTE global bands. Now that is quite something, and I'll tell you guys, it's not easy to do that. The magic that our RF team has to go through to be able to construct antennas that are well optimized for all of these bands is really something quite significant. So that means you'll be able to roam anywhere around the world when you get a Mi Note 2, which is pretty awesome. And you'll be able to gift it to your friends as well, and it'll work wherever they are. This is especially important for US. You'll be able to get full-on LTE on T-Mobile and AT&T, which is great news for our fans in the US and for people who travel a lot like I do. So this is great news. But to give you a little bit more specific, we support bands across 6 different types. GSM, CDMA, including 1x VDO, WCDMA, which is kind of sort of the new thing, TDS CDMA, TDD LTE, and FDD LTE. So this basically gives us coverage everywhere. Really cool stuff. And if you really want to geek out on the bands, I've already posted this slide. You can check it out. Just go to my page and you can see each one of the bands. And you can tell us if anything is missing from here. So we're in pretty good shape. Mi Note 2 is also our first device to support 3XCA. What the hell does that mean? That means carrier aggregation across 3 different frequency bands. What that means is you may be in a city where the carrier only has bits and pieces of the spectrum. Well, what we do is we stitch together, obviously this is carrier infrastructure, stitch together bits and pieces of spectrum in different frequencies, and you use that continuously as if it was just a single frequency band. So that gets you to 4G plus, which is over 600 megabits per second, also known as LTE Advanced, which is pretty awesome. Again, if you want to geek out on the full specs, go for it. This is already on my Facebook page. This slide gives you more than your dreams have ever asked for. Sorry, I didn't create enough suspense here. Price for Mi Note 2 starts at $27.99 for the basic model, and it goes all the way up to $34.99 for the highest model. If you want to get global bands, this is the model that you want to get. It's the 6 gig model for $34.99. That's coming out pretty soon, and I hope you like it. That's Mi Note 2, which is curved to impress. Another summary slide here for you guys to enjoy. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm going to give you a very quick summary. We just talked about Mi Note 2, which has this pretty amazing dual curved design. It's like 4 curves. It's curve, 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 so that it gives you an amazing hand feel. Flexible OLED display, which is what allows the front of the device to be curved. Snapdragon 821, the fastest version, the performance version of 821, which is clocked at 2.35 gigahertz. 22.56, so over 22 megapixels on the back. We have an 8 megapixel autofocus camera on the front. It's a new thing. It's an 8 megapixel autofocus selfie camera. Very large battery, over 4,000 milliamp hours. Doesn't even feel like it because it's quite light and it's really thin. Supports quick charge 3.0. So even if you run out of battery, which is not all that likely within the first 24 hours, you're still good. That's quick charge 3.0. And my favorite feature, which I was just talking about, the 6 gig version of Mi Note 2 supports global bands. 37 bands, including 22 LTE bands, basically gives you 4G pretty much anywhere around the world. Awesome device. It's here for people who are travelers, who love technology. That's Mi Note 2. All right. Now I want to switch gears a little bit, and I'm going to talk about something really exciting, something that I am particularly excited about, which is virtual reality. So we have in the past launched some products. In fact, I think I just saw it around here. Can you pass me this? Just pass me that little guy here. So this is called Mi VR Play. So this is sort of the toy edition VR product that we launched pretty recently, and which we're still selling around the world, and it's very, very successful. The magic about this product is it's simple. So basically, you unzip, you place your phone over here, you zip it back up, and this is a cardboard compatible technology without the straps, I should say, and you get a pretty awesome kind of entry-level VR experience, which we love. The straps are not included. So this is a great VR experience. It's cardboard compatible and it works fantastic. But it's kind of really just an entry level. We've been working on sort of the real deal VR experience, which is what I'm going to show you now. And this is the latest Mi VR. So this is the product that you're looking at right here. It's a beautiful product. It's very nicely designed. You can see it's very action oriented. It just looks very contemporary, very clean design, yet it's got this sort of contemporary edgy twist to it. You can see it in more detail over here. You can see a little bit of the lens already. It's designed for comfort. This area in particular is essentially what makes it rest on your head. It's actually a really clever design. I'll show that in a second because it doesn't feel heavy at all, simply because we distribute the weight really nicely. And it also includes, this is really important, of course, a 9-axis inertial motion controller with touch controls. And this is already starting to follow the Daydream spec. This is only launching in China for now, but we're obviously keeping our eyes in the future here. I thought what would be cool to do here is a live unboxing. So what I've got right here is a near production version of Mi VR. You can see right here, the Mi logo says virtual reality. So that's a very kind of simple box. I'm going to open it up. This is what it looks like, right? So it's basically ready to wear. And it comes with two components. This is the VR headset, super lightweight, really lightweight. It says Mi virtual reality over here. So it's really light, actually. So that's the first thing. And then the second component that's included is right here. This is the 9-axis inertial motion controller. Why 9-axis? Well, you've got a few different degrees of freedom. Of course, you can move it up and down. You can also rotate it in every direction. And that gives you 9 axes, right? So movement, rotation, and acceleration. So that's the motion controller. Now, I'll show you how this works. So we're going to open it up right here. So, so this just slides out. And I'll tell you what's in here. So this looks like it's purely a plastic component, but there's actually quite a few things in here. The most important thing in this product is that it contains an inertial motion unit, an IMU. What is that? It's basically a really high-quality gyroscope and accelerometer combined. It's, of course, really important when you're in VR that you can turn around, you can rotate your head, and so on. And it's important to detect those movements in a very, very fine manner. You could use the gyroscope on the phone, but the reality is the gyroscope on the phone is not all that incredible for something so fine like virtual reality. So we actually built an IMU into the device, right? So that we have the absolute fastest, best technology here. In fact, I talked a little bit about that. It has 16 times higher sensitivity than what you'd find on a phone, right? So it's a very, very high precision, high responsiveness IMU. Then the other thing that I'll mention is there's a proximity sensor right here that detects when you're actually wearing the product. And then purely, simply USB Type-C port right here. So this is compatible, for example, with Mi Note 2. So what I do is I just slide it in right here. I plug it in. Then I slide this guy. It's in. Then all I have to do is close it. Of course, you can't actually see this, but it will automatically detect that I am in VR mode, and I can see. What's interesting also, see the button right here? So this button, just with one touch, lets you adjust the fit of the product. So you don't have to actually go strap on one side, strap on the other side. You just have one button here. I tend to have a pretty big head, so obviously, old school brain technology. It's okay. It's pretty good still. So the interesting thing here that I want to mention, I said earlier, it doesn't feel very heavy. It's not light, of course, because I have a phone in here. The phone is not light. But a lot of the weight is actually on my forehead and on the top part of my head, right? So it actually rests not on my nose bridge. It actually rests on my forehead. So it's actually a very comfortable product to wear, right? It really feels great to wear. So that's Mi VR. The incredible thing here, if you guys know a bit about virtual reality, of course, you know how important it is for latency to be as small as possible. And the reason is, if our brain is not perfectly fooled into believing that it is in some other reality, you might actually get nauseous. You may not feel very well when you're experiencing virtual reality, even after just a few minutes. The most important thing is for that virtual reality to feel as close to real as possible. So when you move your head, the display has to kind of follow you, and the scene has to follow you almost in real time. We have been able to achieve 16 millisecond low latencies. This is extraordinarily low. And I'll tell you, this is using a device in there, even if it's not an OLED display, right? So we actually have gotten latency down to extraordinarily low levels. And this is what makes VR really come to life, is when it feels great and you don't get sick from it, you don't feel strange, you just want to keep going. So we've spent a huge amount of time optimizing for latency. We've also spent a lot of effort, a lot of resources, and a lot of time into building an ecosystem for virtual reality here in China. Mi VR is a China-only product, at least for the time being, and we've spent a huge amount of time. For example, you'll find over 500 panoramic videos, things that you can not imagine, just incredible things. You want to see a volcano erupting live in front of your eyes, and you can look around, you get it. Amazing scenes that are shot in full 360 video that are beautiful. We already have over 30 VR apps. We have over 200 developers already signed up. So this ecosystem is coming to life. And the most incredible thing is that Mi VR is going to be available starting pretty much right away for 199 renminbi. 199 renminbi. That is an absolutely incredible price. It's like 30 bucks. And that includes, by the way, the touch controller as well. So you've got Mi VR, the headset, which contains a built-in IMU, built-in inertial sensor, very, very comfortable, and you also get a 9-axis inertial motion controller that's also touch-based. So this is just a great, great deal, and that's Mi VR for you guys. What do you think?
Awesome!
Are we done?
Not yet. One more.
Okay.
Next.
Okay. All right. I have no mixed feelings about this one.
Wow.
All right. So we're going to talk about Mi's concept phone. And I'll tell you about why we decided to call this the concept phone first for all. You know, if you come up with a concept, it means it's not real. Is that right? Well, no, not in our world. We come up with concepts that we think are incredible things that are, in some cases, almost too good to be true, as is the case here. But we want to make sure that our fans get access to them. So our Mi concept phone is conceptual, but it's also real. And I want to show you to you guys here today. It starts for us with asking a simple question. What does the phone of the future look like? And we have all seen something like this, right? We have all imagined, not seen, but imagined something that is so beautiful that it maybe looks more like a piece of glass. It's light, it's elegant, it's transparent when you need it to be, it's opaque when you need it to be, and it's just incredible. You know, when are we going to get to that? I don't know. It's going to take us quite a while, but we thought we could at least get started. So this is what we want the world to experience with our latest concept phone. The world like it looks if you're just staring with your bare eyes. Whether you're in vertical portrait mode or in landscape mode, you can essentially just see your content because we have been able to achieve some impossible engineering milestones. And we've come up with an edgeless design. So our concept of the future starts with edgeless design. Now, that's why we decided that this is so different, this is so unique, it's so new, that it deserves a new name. So I want you guys to welcome Mix. And if you're just joining us here on Facebook, welcome. You've chosen a pretty good time to get in. We've already talked about Mi Note 2, which is right here. We've also talked about Mi VR, which we also did a live unboxing for. You can rewind and watch it later if you missed it. And now we're talking about Mix. Mix is Mi's concept phone, and it's one of the most exciting things I've ever seen in my life in technology. 91.3% screen-to-body ratio. We're incredibly excited about 77% on Mi Note 2. 91.3%, it's pretty much unimaginable up until today. Just to put things in perspective once again, iPhone 7 Plus, which is a great device, 67.7% screen-to-body ratio. Our Mi concept phone, Mix, gets you to 91.3% screen-to-body ratio. Basically, you just have a tiny little chin to house the camera, which I'll talk about in a bit, but you have almost complete screen. That gives you a 23% larger display, despite having a very similar size. And this is what we call Mi Mix. This looks great, doesn't it?
Yeah, so nice.
I want to make sure that you look at this full screen because this is such a great visual. Just look at what you're seeing in front of you. This is one of these things that you honestly potentially wouldn't expect to see for potentially years to come. And that's why we're so excited about it. The idea behind Mix is that you can just see through. You're essentially looking at another world. Think of it as a viewport into another world. It's all about content. It's all about what you need. It's not about the device itself. And that's Mix with our edgeless design. It's absolutely beautiful. Mix is a 6.4-inch display phone. Doesn't feel that big actually because it's all screen, but it's 6.4 inches. And I'm going to show it to you in a little bit, but I want to first talk about materials. One of the things that we really wanted to do with Mix is take our best materials to a new level. We started working with 3D ceramic earlier this year when we launched Mi 5 Pro. It's our first device with a ceramic body. It's the world's first curved ceramic body that was Mi 5 Pro. We've taken what we learned with Mi 5 to the new level with a full ceramic body on Mix. Full ceramic body, including the back cover, including the frame, including all of the buttons. It's a full ceramic body. And again, this is what it looks like. Super gorgeous, right?
Yeah, so cool.
Here it is from another angle. You guys can admire these shots. I want to make sure that these are full screen, guys. Look at it. Pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
Edgeless design. This is what it looks like from the side, full ceramic body. This is the rear. Absolutely beautiful edgeless design. And I thought I could do a live unbox. What do you guys think? Yeah. Should we do a live unbox?
Yeah.
Okay. So here we have, this is the Mix box. And it says over here, Mix designed by me. So it's a beautiful product. Me logo over here. Kind of cool, huh? 256 gigabytes right there. So let's go ahead and unbox it. So let's slide it out. You see the Me logo right there in gold. It's an embossed logo. So I'm opening it right here. Cool, right?
Yeah.
Now look at this.
Wow.
Look at this.
Wow.
Right?
Sweet.
I'm going to do it again. Look at this. You like it, Tatin? Yeah. All right. Look at that.
Whoa.
Right. So you've got the phone. Here you've got the leather cover, which or the leather case, and then manual, charger, and so on and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and take these guys out. So this is the leather cover. I'm going to set it over here, and here's the phone. I have previously unboxed it, so I removed the little ear that allows me to pull it out easily. So I'm just going to have to do a little poke there. All right. Hear that? Yeah. Little details. That's a magnet screen. All right. So here we have it, guys. This is Mi Mix. Of course, I haven't turned it on yet because I want to show you how beautiful the body and this product is. So you see right there, it says Mi or Mix, designed by me. So this is a full body ceramic device on the back, also on the sides, on the top. It's all made of ceramic. Ceramic is basically the hardest, least scratchable material that you can come up with for phones, for bodies. It scores an 8 in the Mohs scale. Glass is like a 6, and of course, if you want to go higher, you're going to start to get into crazy materials territory all the way up to diamond, which is a 10. So ceramic body gives you beautiful texture. It gives you incredibly non-scratchable surface, and it just looks really fantastic. Right? It's a beautiful, beautiful device. Now, you ready for this?
Yep. Yes.
You ready for this?
Turn it on. Turn it on. Wow.
Look at that. Pretty cool, right? So this is Mix with its edgeless design. You can see here The screen really goes all the way up to the top, all the way to the sides. And the only thing that you have here at the bottom is this really, really kind of thin, discreet little chin. It's there essentially to house the camera, which I'll talk to you guys in a second. But the beautiful thing here is that what you're looking at is this incredible edgeless design. This is something that, I mean, I think I was even reading about some articles today already. This is what people think would come out of their wildest dreams, right? This is something that the world just hasn't seen before, and it's absolutely stunning. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how we were able to achieve this incredible design. First of all, I want to talk about where a lot of the inspiration here comes from. Many of you have already heard of Mr. Philip Stark, one of the most well-known designers in the world. Philip is obviously an incredibly capable industrial designer who's responsible for some of the biggest breakthroughs in design in a lot of different fields, including home appliances, furniture. He's designed boats, he's designed planes, he's designed so many different things. And he chose to work with Xiaomi on something that he had not yet done, which was to design a phone. And we've been working with him for over 2 years now. This product has been in the making for a very long time. And he was the first person who challenged us to do something that we, even ourselves, previously thought to be impossible, which was to try and just get rid of all that stuff. So we're incredibly excited to have partnered with Philip Stark to get Mi Mix to the world. He was on stage with us today, and we're really excited about this partnership. So obviously, it starts with what you see here. We had to get rid of a bunch of different things. Everything that you'd find on a normal phone, on a normal smartphone, even the latest and greatest smartphone. The earpiece, the receiver that you make calls with, the proximity sensor, and the front camera. How do you get all those things out of the way? Well, I'll explain that to you guys, and I'll talk about each one of these. First of all, how do you listen to a phone call without an earpiece speaker? Well, obviously, we had to work on this for a long time. This was one of the hardest pieces. But we were able to reach an amazing result with this technology, which is a cantilever piezoelectric ceramic driver. It basically translates electric signals to mechanical waves, of course, but these are mechanical waves that can actually travel through the ceramic body, and you can actually listen to your call that way. It's obviously hidden behind the display, so there's no actual opening, but it travels through the ceramic body. And that's a piezoelectric ceramics driver. So that allows you to listen to a call. The call still sounds very natural. You can hear high frequencies, you can hear low frequencies, and the person who's next to you obviously can't hear the call. So it works quite brilliantly, and you obviously can't see anything. The second technology that we had to replace was the proximity sensor. What's the proximity sensor, or a prox sensor, as we like to call it in industry? Well, it's the infrared sensor that detects when the phone is close enough to your face and to your cheeks that the screen should be dimmed. Otherwise, you might hang up or start dialing tones into the call, and that's very uncomfortable. It's also uncomfortable for your eye if there's a bright display lit right next to your face. So the prox sensor just detects that and then dims out or shuts off the screen when you're on the phone. If you don't have an opening, you can't have an infrared sensor, right? To be clear, infrared is light. So what we've done is we've used a new technology, which we have in fact used recently. If you guys have been tuned in to our latest innovations, you'll have heard of the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor on Mi 5S, which we just announced a few weeks back. On the Mi 5S, it allows it reads your fingerprint through the glass using ultrasonic technology. What we're doing here is somewhat similar in that we're detecting proximity using ultrasonic technology, but we're not only going through the glass, we're going through the entire display, right? So it's another level, if you will, but similar technology, so that usually by just sending ultrasonic waves through the glass, through the display, and seeing what bounces back, it can detect whether or not your face is close enough to the glass, and then it can shut off the display. So that's our ultrasonic proximity sensor, and it works pretty well. The next question is, well, what do you do with the front camera? Well, one question would be to just get rid of it. But then that wouldn't be a phone, right? I mean, a smartphone without a selfie camera, that doesn't really make any sense. So what we did was we took it away from the top and we moved it all the way down here. We're using a special sensor here that is 50%, the module that's 50% smaller than the module on a regular, the front camera module on a regular phone, and it's tucked away right there on the corner. So it still obviously faces forward. It allows you to take selfies. So you just look at the camera. So you can see our studio here. Of course, that's on the bottom. If you want it in the top, you can just rotate the phone. The whole UI rotates. Pretty cool, right? Wow. Very simple solution. And the camera, the selfie camera, is right back on top, right? So, and then when you're done, of course, you can just rotate it back. So that's the camera. And I just gave you a demo here. Now, I want to talk about a few more things here. First of all, to achieve this display, this edgeless display design that you guys have seen here, we had to make quite a few tweaks. So we've had to order and create a custom display that was rounded on the corners here, because if we used a regular display with a square corner, obviously it wouldn't allow us to have these thin bezels. So we're using a rounded display here, which is custom made just for us, and that allows us to come all the way to the end here with very, very thin bezels that give us really, really high screen to body ratio. We also made a decision, and this has to do with basic ergonomics. Most mobile phone displays are 16 by 9. And 16 by 9 is actually a pretty good aspect ratio. And it is so because you have that enormous forehead and you have a chin as well. So the phone feels kind of nice. But when we cut away the forehead and we made the chin much, much shorter, if we kept the 16 by 9 aspect ratio, it would actually feel kind of weird. It would look a bit square-like, and we don't think that that's a nice thing. So we made the screen even longer to give you a 17 by 9 aspect ratio. It's still obviously perfectly Android compatible because we have the soft keys. The usable area is 16 by 9 still, but it's a really beautiful 17 by 9 display. And I want to show you how this works. So obviously this is the standard look, and you can see how I have the soft keys at the bottom. This is, by the way, the very first Mi phone that uses soft keys. Something that our fans have been asking for a long time, right, guys? Bobby's saying, yeah. And but we thought, well, if they're soft keys, maybe you don't want them. Maybe you want to tuck them away. So we're using an innovation from UI 8 to solve this problem. And I know that our fans in India remember this quite well. It's called Quick Ball. So Quick Ball can now be activated from the soft key little area over there. So Quick Ball is right here, right? This is used so that you can navigate around. It's done for navigation, not just for accessibility. And you could see that when I turned on Quick Ball, my soft keys went away. If I want them back, all I have to do is slide up, and they're back.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I can control Quick Ball from here. You like it, Danny?
Yeah.
So it's really, really simple to use, right? So that is a way of just really maximizing that gorgeous display with Quick Ball 17 by 9 aspect ratio. So this looks really fantastic. And that's the slide explaining the demo that I just gave you. So what we're doing here is we're literally exploring new frontiers in technology to create this edgeless design. It's not about just a display or just one or another component. It's actually all of these things working together. It's a ceramic acoustic system, which is, of course, that proximity sensor and the cantilever piezoelectric earpiece or driver, working with the prox sensor that's ultrasonic, a very compact front camera that we moved down to the bottom of the device, around the display, and then 17 by 9 aspect ratio for the panel. All of these things put together give you a beautiful, elegantly designed, real edgeless design, which the world hadn't seen until today. So to sum it up here for you guys, and then I want to take a few questions also. Mi Mix coming out today. If you guys just joined us, you're catching just the tail end here of our Facebook live stream. You can go back later and watch it. Go to the Me Global page or go to my personal Facebook page and you can replay it. We just announced our revolutionary edgeless design concept phone called Mix. 6.4-inch edgeless design. Really does not feel like 6.4-inch. Full ceramic body, Snapdragon 821, also clocked at 2.35 gigahertz. That's the performance version of Snapdragon 821. Starts at 4 plus 128 gigs of memory, but we have a version that goes an even higher level than that, which I'll talk about in a bit. 16 megapixel rear camera, supports HD audio, GPS, high precision and SAP, and a very large battery, 4,400 milliamp hours with quick charge 3.0. So this is an incredible, incredible package. And I also want to talk about a special version of Mi Mix, if that wasn't already special enough.
Yeah.
So that's what we call Mi Mix 18K. 18K stands for 18 carats. And that's because of a really unique design, a little tweak that we made. If you look right here, hopefully you can see that from the camera over there, guys. We've added real 18 karat gold trims around the front, the rear camera here and the fingerprint sensor. It's a really, really incredibly small but meaningful detail that goes really beautifully with the ceramic body. That's 18 karat gold. Then this version of Mix 18K, ships with 6 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of flash UFS 2.0 storage. It's the first time we've shipped a phone with 256 gigs of RAM. We thought you guys would enjoy that. So that's the Mix 18K that you're looking at over here. We're also shipping, this is default with the product, a beautiful real leather case. This is the Mix leather case. It's beautiful leather. Smells like leather, really, for real. It's beautiful and it's only appropriate, right? And it's kind of like you have a screen inside your protector case. It's basically a screen. That's what it looks like, right? So pretty awesome, right? Pretty cool. You kind of want to do this because you feel like you're just carrying a screen with you, right? You kind of want to protect it. Even though the ceramic body is one of the hardest surfaces that we could come up with in phone design. And this is, if you want to geek out, these are all of the specs here. All of these details are already posted on my Facebook page. Just check it out. Every single thing is on there. And more beautiful shots for you guys to look at here. Of course, this is a concept phone, but we want our fans to have it. So we're making it available starting next week here in China only for $34.99 for the 4/128 version and $39.99 for the 6/256 version. This is pretty incredible price. Of course, one of the most beautiful pieces of technology that we've ever seen. Certainly the product that we're the proudest of anything we've ever made in 6.5 years of being around as a company. We're really, really, really proud of this. And we're about to clock in 1 hour here. Since I only gave ourselves 1 hour, I'm going to invite my co-host to come back so we can say bye to everyone. And here's Ollie, our girl.
Hi, Ollie.
So Ollie, let's wrap it up. She's checking out the comments. We're going to wrap up by saying thank you guys. Thank you for spending an hour with us. Hope you really enjoyed Mi Note 2, Mi VR. And of course, the beautiful new Mi Concept phone. Ollie, take a look here, which is Mix. Thank you guys. See you next time. everybody. It's a big day for Xiaomi today. We had Ollie decided to, thanks to seeing silver, typically in our portfolio. On Note 2 means just 5 different frequencies, and then the incredible things. You want to that gives you a 20 over 2 years next back. Remember this quite really does not feel 150 page. Just check. We gave ourselves. So I hope you really enjoyed new Mi Concept phone. Ollie, take.